Hello everyone, this presentation is entitled Leila Aboulela as an Immigrant Writer. It aims to explore Leila Aboulela as an Arab British woman writer and her status as an immigrant writer writing in English and trying to explain her cultural background for an English-speaking world. Leila Aboulela is considered a cultural translator of her world. That's why we are discussing here the connection between translation and migration in all immigrant writers and in Aboulela in particular. New immigrant writing, migration, and translation are all based on in-betweenness. This in-between status that stands for cultural contacts between two different worlds. Susan Bassnett's definition of translation as involving an international journey between a point of origin and a target destination is so similar to the definition of migration in general. Both definitions include that sense of in-betweenness which can be represented in the in international intercultural interaction. Aboulela can be seen as a cultural translator. All Anglophone writers adopt a translation process hybridizing the cultures and languages of both the ex-colonizer and ex-colonized. They take the position of the native informant who is well versed in his cultural background and the foreign expert who can express his meaning and thought in English or a foreign language. Aboulela is an Arab British writer writing in English, and that's why she is tuned to cultural negotiations across heterogeneous geographies, ethnicities, and languages in her travels through Cairo, Khartoum, Jakarta, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, London, and Aberdeen. All Aboulela's novels portray high rates of geographic mobility and cultural exchange across different contact spaces in the West, represented by England and Scotland, and in the East, exemplified by Egypt and Sudan. The constant touchstones for Aboulela's female characters are cultural displacement and relocation, alienation and rebirth, and cultural translation and retranslation. One of the main themes of Aboulela's work is retranslating identity. Here we are concerned with the analysis of identity crisis. A man or a woman standing between two different worlds and trying to adopt what is favorite for him or her, in his new identity in the hosting community. Aboulela's main contribution to the translation of the sacred in her novels is to be placed in the domain of the spiritual rather than the political. Aboulela, as an Arab British writer, is interested in translating the religious background of the East in a new way by focusing on the spiritual rather than the political sides of the issue. In an interview with the students of the University of Aberdeen in 2007, she even admitted that she had to make up a new language to chart such free spiritual space that could blur all the borderlines of the political, the cultural, and the secular. One of the interesting themes in Aboulela is retranslating her homeland, Sudan. Aboulela was shocked by Alan Moorhead's inability to translate the outstanding natural beauty of Sudan in The White Nile, a novel written in 1960, and was hence motivated to retranslate the Sudan as a place of value and dignity in her own writing. What Summer, the heroine of the translator, her novel, prizes in the Sudan more than anything else is its historical grandeur and sense of wholeness and unity. Khartoum, where the blue and the white Niles met under the bridge, under the sun, and across the bridge, Durman, where saints were buried and something old and whole was on the air. Above the sand and the sound of the wind, everything held together, connected. Another interesting theme in Abu Laila's work is the portrayal of Arab women in contrast to the older stereotypes of Arab women as submissive. Abu Laila's gendered narratives can be read as translational texts in which heroes and heroines work on retranslating traditional gendered relations of love and marriage, rewriting women's private experience, and finally reframing traditional female stereotypes. The novels, okay, of Abu Laila are based on a romantic story whose female protagonists gain maturity and ultimately love and marriage through a series of blunders and reforms. That's what really happens to Summer, the heroine of the translator. Thanks a lot for listening to this presentation.